What's going on, guys? Welcome back to Wars of the Stars, episode 42. Today, we got a great show on hand. We got a Disney Plus Day preview. Disney Plus Day is obviously this Friday. Today, we will also be talking a little bit about Patty Jenkins's Rogue Squadron being delayed, a story that just broke a couple hours ago about Andor and Ms. Marvel being released next summer or fall, according to a Disney investor call. And we'll also touch a little bit possibly on that Spider-Man No Way Home poster. We will not be talking about the images that, out of all people, John Campea leaked. Yes, they are real, and you can find them if you want to see them, but we will not be talking about them on this show. As you can see, Alex is not here. I don't know where he is. I haven't got anything back. We're supposed to start these things at 7:30. Gave him an hour. Not here. So I'm going to do the show myself today, unless he pops in at some point. So let's first talk about that plan for. We'll first talk about the plan for Disney Plus Day. Right. So Disney Plus Day, trailers and clips will start releasing around 6 p.m. or 6 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, and then 9 a.m. Therefore 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. So I will start live streaming here on this channel at 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Marvel will have their presentation on Disney Plus at 11:45, and we will probably subsequently end the Disney Plus live stream after the Marvel Studios presentation gets done. And then later that night, hopefully, Alex will hopefully be able to join me to recap his thoughts on the announcements. I have the day off. It's a 4-day weekend for me. Awesome for me, I guess. Alex hasn't told me if he has it off, so I assume he has school that day. So yeah, we'll be live most of the day, and I hope you all can join us. So without further ado, guys, let's get into our main topic today. Alex, shout out to him, made the slideshow for us. It's a preview of Disney Plus Day. Let's present it here. So first, Disney Plus Day preview. That's what we're going to be talking about today. Let's segue now into the first question. What do you want to see at Disney Plus Day? Well, for me personally, I want to see a lot of trailers. I want to see some announcements from the Marvel and Star Wars side. I know since Marvel Studios is having their own little presentation that they're going to go heavy in on the announcement side of things. So I definitely think that we're going to see lots of announcements for new projects on the Marvel side. And on the Star Wars side, I want trailers, man. I just want trailers. A lot of stuff is done shooting. Andor, Kenobi. Bad Batch Season 2 seems to be really far along. So I'd like to see some footage from there. And then it's behind the scenes stuff and some announcements for the future projects. So that's basically my overview there. All right, are we going to get any major announcements? Not talking trailers, etc. at Disney Plus Day. I'm going to say yes. So obviously we're talking about the Marvel and Star Wars side of things. For Marvel, what do I think they're going to announce? I'm really thinking something with Shang-Chi. I think they're going to do a 10-range show with Xiaolin as the lead. Xiaolin is going to be the lead of that show. I could also see something Eternals with spoilers for Eternals. Something with the Black Knight, Dane Whitman maybe. Or I could see a prequel series that the writers were talking about today that they have all planned out. I'd love to see a prequel series to the Eternals to see what they did for those 7,000 years. We didn't get a lot of, we got a lot of it, but to see more of that. Werewolf by Night, which has been heavily rumored for some time now. Werewolf by Night, I definitely think will get announced. I think we'll get, I want dates. Specifically for planning for this and stuff. With Kenobi, Star Wars side of things, I want dates. We'll get into later. Andor seemingly having a timetable, but I want set kind of concrete months instead of it's coming out here or maybe here. Like I want set concrete days, months, just as concrete as possible. And then I want some announcements. And on the Star Wars side of things, for the announcements, another but there's been rumors of a live or a Crimson Dawn show that would be animated. I know they're definitely interested in doing more with the Maul character. Um, so I could definitely see an animated Maul Crimson Dawn show. I mean, they had Paul Bettany's um, figure made for the end of the Clone Wars. So like it makes sense to have Paul Bettany back, and then Amelia Clark. I wish it was live action, but I will definitely take the origins to Kira to Dryden Voss. It's a fascinating timeline in Star Wars, and the criminal underworld is a fascinating time, especially during that period. Could we see Maul fight Vader? Maybe. Could we see Maul encounter Palpatine again? What does that look like? Just a big focus on Maul, who's been the king of Star Wars animation. Let's segue now into, will we see Hawkeye at Disney Plus Day? And if so, what will we see from Hawkeye and what do you want to see? I don't think we see much. Now I think we could get a close look at the first episode of Hawkeye. And what do I mean by that? I think we could get like a 2-minute clip from the first episode, but at the same time, I also feel like that all of the trailer footage is basically from those first couple of episodes where Cade and Clint meet. Yeah, I don't. There won't be a trailer. It's too close. I feel like Hawkeye's market has been kind of poor, if I'm going to be honest with you. I know we've gotten clips and stuff. Maybe it hasn't been poor. Maybe it's just in a weird time with Boba Fett, this Disney Plus Day, Eternals, and Spider-Man No Way Home. I feel like Hawkeye's just in a bad place. We did get another poster today. Um, yeah, maybe a extended look at the first episode, maybe the first couple episodes. I know the review embargo lifts tomorrow. I think people have seen it already. They can give their like non-spoiler thoughts on it, spoiler thoughts on it. So, um, yeah, I definitely think we could see some Hawkeye footage from the first episode, but I don't think anything else of that. Will we see Book of Boba Fett at Disney Plus Day? If so, what do you think we'll see, and what would you want to see? We know we're getting the under the helmet thing, which is really exciting. Get to see behind the scenes of the original Star Wars. That's always cool to see. I've always loved watching those documentaries, listening to George and just Kirshner and all of those geniuses behind those movies. Quaid, just so many great geniuses. And I can't wait to see like maybe even the white prototype. Do they got more footage that we haven't seen? That would be so cool. Um, but besides that, behind the scenes, maybe some cast stuff. We got a trailer last week. Maybe some more footage, a new TV spot, or something like that. Maybe again a look at the first episode. But then again, that trailer seems to be all from the first couple of episodes. So I feel like it's the same thing with Hawkeye. It is almost too close to market, right? Like they're so close to their release dates already that we kind of already know that they're coming. I feel like Disney Plus Day is meant to say, hey, this is what's coming next year. And here's a plethora of stuff to get you ready for that. Um, so yeah, I don't expect much from the Book of Boba Fett. Again, behind the scenes thing, that's what's rumored by right now. That comes to us from Star Wars Newsnet, Jordan Mason, all those big Star Wars insiders are corroborating that report. Yes. Um, so yeah, probably behind the scenes stuff, maybe some new footage from the first episode that we haven't seen, but that's all I really expect. From that. So let's now segue into, will we see well, Alex I didn't check this. It's supposed to say, will we see anything from Kenobi at Disney Plus Day? If so, what do you want? And no, the rest. Yes, I definitely think so. I think this is the thing you gotta this is a movie, right? This is not something we market normally, right? This is your Bane project. This is your big bang that you go out with, right? You got Ewan for one last time, probably. Hayden's going to come back in Ahsoka, so that's big. But to have Anakin and Obi-Wan, these are probably the last live action stories we will get with these two characters. Vader, you get James Earl Jones. James Earl Jones is in his 90s. It's probably the last time we're going to get him. So I am 100% on. I'm 100% on 100% on the trailer. And I think this trailer needs to be a bang, right? I don't think this is just something like we got with the Book of Boba Fett. I feel like you gotta get the hype insane. Like Star Wars hasn't had that Spider-Man No Way Home or Endgame in a long time since The Force Awakens, right? Now, sure, you could say the Rise of Skywalker, because it was the end of Skywalker saga, but it's probably not. And it was coming off of a disappointing previous movie where it seemed like with the diehard hardcore fans, the trilogy was not resonating with them. So I feel like this is going to have Kenobi's got a hit. And it's going to. I trust Deborah and I trust you and Hayden, all the great people, Kumail, everyone who's in that project. I trust O'Shea Jackson, so many great people. Um, but yeah, I feel like this trailer's got to show us a little Hayden. You've marketed him already up to this point. You announced he's in it. You announced he's playing Vader. I'd really like to see a flashback. I'm gonna go crazy. Um, I feel like you gotta go out with you gotta go with a bang. It's gotta be big. You've had 2 to 3 months to kind of prepare for this, so I feel like they're gonna have. It's gonna be crazy. I mean I don't think they do this, but I'd really love if it's a scene where all we see is Kenobi's lightsaber light up, and then we just hear, and we know it's Vader, and then maybe we see the red light up in the background or something along those lines. But just to give us a little tease, I can't wait to see what the show looks like. I can't imagine to see Ewan. Like, this has been a project that has been rumored ever since Disney acquired the company, right? It was supposed to be a movie originally, and then the movie was going to be awful, right? The movie, I mean, it was bad. With the rumors and stuff, like it didn't have Vader, didn't have Hayden, nothing with Maul. It was going to be bad. This, on the other hand, seems extreme. He's leaving Tatooine, and I know I'm not a huge fan of that. But for the sake of the show, I'm probably gonna love it. I'll probably cry when I see Vader and Kenobi fight again. And I'm not afraid to admit that. So, like, yes, definitely gonna get a Kenobi trailer. And I would assume we're gonna see Hayden. Probably we'll see Vader and Kenobi. You gotta market this like a movie. You want to get people captivated. But then again, you're gonna have another trailer after this. So you gotta be careful that you don't overdo it. But I think they'll find a fine line here. They know this is a big money show for them. Will we see Miss Marvel at Disney Plus Day? If so, what do you think we will see, and what do you want to see? I mean, Miss Marvel, it seems like it's been pushed back a little bit, right? Because it finished filming around Hawkeye, and it's not coming out until summer or fall. We'll talk about that story in a little bit. So it's a concerning, obviously. Obviously, she's going to have weird powers, different than her inhuman powers in the Marvel comics. They're going to be more of ambiguous powers. So it's going to be a weird play. Um, we'll see how it goes with that. But for Miss Marvel, maybe some teaser footage. I don't know. I really don't know now because I think they might be reworking some things with like footage and stuff. So maybe like behind the scenes or something along those lines. Again, this is a project I'm not really excited for at all. I'm not a big fan of Captain Marvel and this part of the MCU, I guess. I'll watch it, but it's my least anticipated MCU project, so I'm not really too excited. I do expect something from it, though, some update on it. Will we see Andor at Disney Plus Day? This is another perfect segue. So it will also come out in the spring, summer, around Miss Marvel time, and that makes more sense. The show wasn't shot on the volume. It's going to take much longer to do and edit and everything else they have to do in post production. It's 12 episodes, I believe. Now that could be split up into 2 6-season things. But yeah, show is going to be big. It's bigger than I think we think it is. I think we get another sizzle reel. I don't think there's enough maybe for footage. Like with this sizzle reel, I could see some like shots that we get, some more artwork, Cassie, and again, just a little bit more than the sizzle reel we got at Investor Day last year, with some actual footage. Again, Kenobi's the big thing they'll market. This is probably second to that. Just a little sizzle, just a little feel of what the show is going to be like. We kind of got last year at Disney Investor Day. Moon Knight. Yes, because I think it will probably come out now before Miss Marvel. I don't know. Um, we already got the leaked picture of Oscar Isaac in the Moon Knight suit pre CGI, and it looked fantastic. Now, I don't know much about the Moon Knight character. I know he gets his powers from like the Egyptian god or something like that. I don't know. It's been rumors that Werewolf by Night's going to be in it. Dracula. I mean, I don't know who's the main villain of the show, but it definitely seems like they're setting up the Midnight Suns in the MCU, which is interesting with Blade, Moon Knight, possibly Werewolf by Night. Just need a Ghost Rider thing, and I think it's a definite that we're going to get it. So I'd like to see maybe see Oscar get his powers. A couple action shots. Like I could very easily see that shot where we see him pre CGI in the trailer, just to see the suit a little bit. Maybe have Oscar talk a little bit about the character because he seems to love it. He seems to think it's crazy. Yeah, I'm really excited to see how this all plays in the MCU. This is probably one of my more anticipated projects. I like darker, I like grittier, I like more grounded superhero stories. It seems what Moon Knight's going to be. Well, sure, there is a supernatural element that he gets his powers from like an Egyptian god or whatever. It's more grounded. He's more of a Batman. He's more of a vigilante. He's psychotic. He's just a normal human who wears this suit and goes around. He's not Batman exactly, but you know what I'm saying. It's more grounded. I love the Falcon and the Winter Soldier more than most people, and I think I'm gonna love this show more. It doesn't have to be ultra violent, but it's got to be a little bit darker, grittier. Oscar Isaac's great, so I expect possibly footage. I would expect a teaser. Um, I think that would be appropriate, especially since the show will probably come out now before Miss Marvel. I'm not sure. I don't know what's going on over there. Miss Marvel's concerning me, and it's concerning me about the rest of the schedule, but I expect footage. I'll say that much. Do you think we see anything from Secret Invasion? Uh, yeah, I think we do. I think it's limited, right? That they just started shooting. So behind the scenes stuff, maybe with Nick and Ben Mendelsohn. Um, but besides that, I don't think we see a whole lot from it. Uh, and it's shooting simultaneously, or shooting similar to the time period like of the Marvels, same area, same um, similar characters, so it makes sense. It's a show I'm really curious by. How big is it going to be in the MCU because it's led by two superheroes, I guess you would say. I'm really interested to see if it sets up super scrolls or evil scrolls or scrolls. We already know scrolls are on Earth, but how many? The MCU is weird. Does it set up again, like I said, the super scrolls, are they invaded? Is it a scroll versus super scroll war going on? What's Nick Fury doing up in the space station? Like that's gonna get explained in this show. I know Amelia Clark has a character in this. I'm not sure who. But yeah, just to see I don't even know what the vibe of the show is gonna be, but this is the show I'm really excited for and curious. Because Samuel L. Jackson's just great as always. You think we get any updates on Armor Wars? If yes, what updates do you want to see? So Armor Wars hasn't started to shoot yet. It starts to shoot at the beginning of this year, I want to say. And I'm not sure. I don't know what they're gonna announce, if anything. I would really love if they announced Justin Hammer as the villain. I think that would be the most appropriate thing. We know he's still around in the MCU with that one shot. He was in prison with the fake Mandarin. He would be a really interesting villain. Sharon Carter, maybe. I know a lot of people didn't like that twist in The Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Understandable. But I really think that it would make sense if she was like an arms dealer against Rhodey, it just kinda dealing with that legacy of Tony and stuff like that. Maybe Pepper, maybe we get a Gwyneth Paltrow, but I expect casting announcements for this and, a timetable of when it's gonna start shooting. Alright, let's segue into what's next. Will we get an update on Ironheart? Yeah. Yeah, I definitely think so. Again, it's gonna shoot around the same time as, Armor Wars. I'm not sure what it's going to be exactly. Um, and what I mean by that is, like, I'm not sure when exactly is they're gonna shoot, but around the time of Armor Wars, Riri Williams is making her first appearance in Black Panther: Wakanda Forever. I think she might be Wakandan, and I think she might idolize Tony Stark, and there's some problem there. I don't know, but she's going to MIT. I think we'll get cast in, and I think we'll get a timetable of when it starts to shoot, just like Armor Wars. All right, let's segue now into Mandalorian season 3, which is currently filming right now. There is a set photo that I believe Bespin Bulletin shared of a Mandalorian on set that is a unknown Mandalorian. So it lends us to believe that Din's going to find other Mandalorians. And also, there was like a big ice chunk, like a mock ice chunk. So it seems like we're going to another ice planet with some new Mandalorians. And it lends credence to the fact that Din's going to put out a call or something and he's going to find other Mandalorians. But for now, I think the only thing, and it seemed like uh, Pedro was at Skywalker Ranch recently, or Skywalker Sound, or wherever it was. So he was recording lines for Din while he's doing The Last of Us. So I think all we get from Mando season 3 is a date of when it's going to come out. Um, it's currently shooting, so maybe some early behind the scenes stuff with John and Dave talking about it. Maybe Pedro they grabbed a quick something from, or uh, who else? Who plays Bo-Katan? I don't remember her name. I can't remember the lady's. Kate Sackhoff. Kate Sackhoff. Maybe some of those big players we get named interviews from. Uh, so that's all I think we get from Mando season 3. A date and behind the scenes look. She-Hulk. I definitely think a trailer or a teaser or something like that. This or Moon Knight will be the next MCU project, I think, unless they do something crazy where they just wait. Which could be possible. They could wait until Miss Marvel now, but I don't think so. Um, I think I'd really like to see She-Hulk, and I'd really like to see Bruce. I'd kind of like a comedic type of vibe there, just to see the first look at that. Um, yeah, I don't know much about these characters, She-Hulk and stuff, and I can't remember the villain's name. Um, but yeah, maybe Tim Roth's The Abomination. So I'd really like to see those three characters, see what Bruce is up to. I think this trailer should like kind of also heavily focus on Bruce, especially it seems like Bruce is going to be a big player, especially with that Shun-Chi post-credit scene. So like I'd like to see like maybe him turn back into the Hulk in the trailer or something, a little tease to Bruce coming back, or like this trailer could also hint at the fact of like the blood transfusion, like maybe Hulk is like Bruce is done and he wants to pass it off to She-Hulk, and I think something like that could be presented in the trailer. Something just gives us the premise of the show. I very much want to also see this show as like the return of the Hulk. Like we haven't seen a good Hulk since the first Avengers movie, if I'm being honest with you. He's good in Ragnarok, but that's just an anomaly. It's not good in the rest of the MCU, and I feel like this show could be like the catalyst for a good Hulk, like a good dominant Hulk to come back in the MCU, and it could be done through She-Hulk. Bad Batch season 2 footage. Definitely. So there was just a poster in Disney um, where we see the Bad Batch, and Echo has a new gun that we haven't seen. And I can't remember, somebody was recording their voiceover for the show, and it looked like Echo had some new design or something along those lines. I can't remember. Um, So yes, I think Bad Batch season 2 was further along than we actually think, and I definitely believe we're going to get some footage. Now, I could see it being like a little teaser we got last year at Investor Day. I think that's very plausible. Again, the Bad Batch timetable is weird because I don't know if it's going to be 16. I don't know if it's going to be 12. I don't know if this is the final season. Again, there's a lot of questions with Bad Batch season 2, but I definitely think we get footage. They have something done. Seems like they've been working on it for a while, especially if there's a new poster. Um, yeah, crazy. There's a quick animation takes a long time, but it seems like they've had season 2 in mind for a while. Uh, so I definitely think that we'll get some footage there. It's being rumored also again, shout out Star Wars Newsnet for that article, but I think we'll get some Bad Batch season 2 footage. All right, that's the end. Yeah, thanks for watching, guys. My little preview of Disney Plus Day. So a couple other things I want to segue into. But first, the question is for you guys. What do you want to see at Disney Plus Day? What trailers do you think we'll get? What new announcements do you think we'll get? I'm really excited. I hope you are too. And again, I'll be live streaming starting at 9 a.m. Eastern on Friday with all the announcements coming from Star Wars, Marvel, and maybe, hey, there's a Pixar project we all like. So we'll just have to wait and see there. Let me pull up the Spider-Man No Way Home poster. Okay, we'll talk about that a little bit. So we'll segue now into. Oops. All right, here we go. Got a good image of it. Okay, are we not going to get a good poster? Okay. No. You come prepared to your own show, guys. So many pictures. Um, is it ever gonna? Okay, here we go. I'm gonna share it with you guys. Here we go. And obviously, our second smaller topic here is we're gonna talk a little bit about the Spider-Man No Way Home poster. Weird to release it now. That's not a good look for you guys, especially since it's like it doesn't make any sense with the. It doesn't make sense. Like it's weird marketing. Um, the trailer where this poster would have made sense is the first one, right? Because it has all the poses and stuff. It has Doc Ock. You're not showing me anything new. This is basically what's happening on the bridge scene, which is the only marketing you guys are doing. It's the only stills we have gone is from the bridge, and there's a couple with Zendaya's MJ and Peter, played by Tom Holland. That's it. This is just the bridge. Now, yes, it does confirm. You could see Green Goblin, William Dafoe fine in the background. You see Sandman, Sand, and you see Electro with the comic, with the yellow lightning bolts. But we knew they were in the movie. Like Jamie Foxx literally said it a year ago. Sandman, I guess you could say we didn't really see. We do see the sandstorm a little bit, and we see the pumpkin bomb, and we hear William Dafoe's laugh. Any average person could be like, yeah, they're definitely in the movie. And then you just copied and pasted Tom's pose from the end of the trailer. This makes no sense releasing this poster now. Is it a good poster? Yeah, it's a lot better than the Homecoming poster that just looked like a fifth grader learned how to use Photoshop. But it makes no sense. And this gets to my point. Like, I think there's a conflict between Sony and Marvel about marketing. Like, I think Sony definitely wants to market Toby and Andrew, but Marvel doesn't. Marvel wants to keep this movie as secret as possible, and they realize that there's a lot of social media buzz. Well, you got to get the average person to go. This will be the first movie to break 100 million at the box office since the Pandy. I have no doubt in my mind it will. But you want to touch a Billy total? You got to tell people Toby and Andrew are in the movie. Now I know word of mouth will travel. Toby and Andrew, Toby and Andrew. Um, But yeah, I think marketing them would have been a lot smarter, especially since everyone's talked about it online now. It's been talked about in the social media sphere. It's been talked about online, rumored, interviews, Jimmy Kimmel, every single late night show comedian. It's been talked about. Toby's been asked, Andrew's been asked, Tom's been asked. It's pretty hard to deny. And then when you also market their villains, it doesn't make sense to bring back Alfred Molina, Doc Ock, and William Defoe, and Sandman, and Electro, and not have their Spider-Man. It doesn't make sense. I mean, yeah, sure, Tom could fight against those five, but it would make way more sense if Toby and Andrew came in and fought the villains they've already fought. It just makes way more sense. This poster just reaffirms that fact that Toby and Andrew are in it, even though there were leaked photos that, well, spoiler alert, showed Toby and Andrew literally on the beam that was leaked a couple of months ago, uh, posted, and it's crazy. But it's good to finally get a first look at Green Goblin. I know it's really hard to see, but his outfit looks similar to what it was in the first Spider-Man, but it's probably going to be changed up a little bit, altered. These are Doc Ock's arms on the bridge, obviously, probably pre um, the him crushing the suit, because he's definitely going to crush that suit. Electro, we haven't seen Jamie Foxx yet. There was a leaked photo a while ago, but we haven't seen him in any promotional footage. Sandman, we've seen the sand and stuff, but we haven't actually seen him. So overall, good poster. It should have came out with either the first trailer or should have came out with the second trailer, which we should be getting within 2 weeks, probably. Probably by it's kind of got to be in theaters with Ghostbusters, which is what I think it's going to be, but it might not. I'm not sure what they're doing, but that's my thoughts on the Spider-Man um, poster. The question is for you guys. What do you think about the Spider-Man poster? Do you think it reveals too much, too little? Do you like where it was released? Should have it been released with the second or first trailer? Let me know what you guys think about the poster down below and tell me if you like it or not. So now, guys, I want to segue into our next main topic. This came out a couple of days ago, and it is about Patty Jenkins' Rogue Squadron. Now, Rogue Squadron was supposed to be the next Star Wars film, but it appears that the project's been delayed indefinitely. So this comes to us from the Hollywood Reporter. Jenkins and writer Matthew Robinson have been developing Squadron for Lucasfilm for over a year with the goal of starting production in 2022. It was to have gone to pre-production by the end of this year. However, sources say the producers and filmmaking team came to the realization that Jenkins' schedule and other commitments wouldn't allow for the window needed to make the movie. That's an awful excuse. So let's talk about it. This project was announced in December of last year, and it was being worked on before that, right? So she had time to work on this. She seems very dedicated to it. It's a personal story. Dad was a fighter pilot, and she talks about how she wants to make the best fighter pilot movie of all time. She got Cleopatra, but this was first priority. She got Wonder Woman 3 now, but that wasn't even in a thought. That was like Wonder Woman 1984 was being released. So, like, Wonder Woman 3 was probably in early stages of development, early ideas, but this was first. This was a personal story for her. And not just that, it was the first thing she was working on. You don't just change your schedule. Oh, like, oh, I double booked. It's a Star Wars movie. I double booked. It's also a massive franchise. It's Lucasfilm. It's Star Wars. It makes no sense why you would go to another project. Like, that part to me also makes absolutely no sense. It's not scheduling conflicts. They're definitely having problems with the script. And this is a complaint I have about Lucasfilm, right? Credit to Lucasfilm here now, before I get into my complaint. They've learned their lesson. If this was 3 years ago, this project would have been gone, or new director, year in. That's the only way it would have gone. And it seems like they want this movie to happen with Patty. And this is just my speculation. I don't know anything. The rumors have it that there's script problems and there's just behind the scenes stuff that's not working. And that's very plausible. And they're trying to iron that out. And it's just not working. I could very easily see like Patty want to do her own movie, but like Lucasfilm be like, yeah, this has got to fit the canon and it's just not working right now. We need to tighten it up a little bit. And they just don't feel like they can get it all going and get it done in time by 2023. And that is reasonable. But the other thing is they got to have a movie in 2023. They've kind of set that date. So like got to have something there. And it's been rumored by insiders, Jordan Mason, Caleb Williams, Big Screen Leaks, Adam Fraser, all those guys, Star Wars News, that Bestman Bullet, all those guys were talking about the possibility of an Old Republic or High Republic movie. There was a rumor floating around about an Old Republic script being done a while ago and them having it just ready. There's been space rented reportedly at Pinewood in England, or is it LA? I'm not sure. For said Star Wars project that is unannounced, um, which is plausible. But then again, they seem to be rushing that, unless it's J.D. Dillard's movie that was rumored. It was reported on by a Hollywood trade, so that could be the case. But we'd have to get an announcement on that soon. So like this is really weird to me and abrupt. But I'm glad they're not canceling it. They're gonna delay it and they're gonna let Patty and Lucasfilm work things out. So now it's time to get in my rant. Why does this happen? I feel like we need to have the conversation before this type of stuff happens. It happened with Rogue. Gareth Edwards, like he wanted a darker movie. Rogue One is basically an entire reshoot within like a year, which is insane. That film, it's probably my favorite Disney Star Wars film, and it was the one that had the biggest mess. Ryan was on the project the whole time, and it's one of my. It's not the worst, in my opinion, but it's not great. It's not great. It's controversial. Solo had a whole heap of problems. Ron Howard had to come in and just creative differences. Benioff and Wise, their trilogy is not happening. Josh Trank let that happen to him. The Ruben Kenobi movie. There's been a whole bunch of messes in the first decade or so of Disney Lucasfilm. Colin Trevorrow, creative differences, which amazes me because when you look at the script for Duel of the Fates, it compared to what we got in The Rise of Skywalker. That's creative differences, really. Clearly, what I got in Episode 9 is way worse than what we would have gotten in Duel of the Fates. There were some questionable things, but a lot less questionable things than Rise of Skywalker, in my opinion. It's like, we got to do a better job of vetting or something. I mean, I bet you Patty came in with this idea, and they were like, great, let's do it. But you also got to have the story guys in there. You got to have Dave in there. You got to be like, okay, how's this going to fit into the canon? And I don't know. I don't know what the conversations are. I really don't. But it's just my speculation. It's just not working for the canon right now. It's not going to work. I don't. I want Patty to make her a movie because this is very special to her, and I feel like Patty has every right in the world to be like, yeah, you're stepping in too much. You're trying to, convolute it with your ideas. I want this to be my thing. Well, I also understand Lucasfilm's side of the story. Like, yeah, this has got to fit into our canon. Also, we're trying to build out this universe and make it more connective, like Marvel. So I definitely understand both sides of the coin. I'm glad it's not canceled. I'm glad they're not replacing directors. That would feel like a cheap shot, especially for this project. Let's figure it out. Let's iron it out. Let's hopefully make this movie. And again, this Rogue Squadron was one of my least excited projects coming out that we know of. But I'm still very excited for it anyways when it eventually comes out. But having it be in the first Star Wars movie back, probably not the best choice. If it is that rumored Old Republic thing, that's a pretty damn good choice in my opinion. So overall, little upsetting, but also there's some positives that Lucasfilm is taking better steps to treat their directors and writers a little bit better than they have in the past. But the question is for you guys now. What do you think about Rogue Squadron being delayed? Do you like the decision? Do you dislike the decision? How do you think it's going to help or hurt Lucasfilm? And what do you think will replace Rogue Squadron 2023 movie timestamp? Do you think it'll be that Old Republic project being rumored, or even possibly a High Republic project? So it is now time to segue into the final topic of the show. We're going to talk a little bit about the fact that Disney just had a investor call for quarter 4, I believe. So Disney does their quarters weirdly, right? So quarter 1 of the 2022 calendar year is already started. It's from October to December. Their second quarter for the year is January to March, and then April to May, or April to June is their third quarter, and July, August, September, and like a little bit into October is their quarter 4. So that's how they do it. So everyone saw, oh, Andor and Miss Marvel in quarter 4. What? Mando 3 might not be out next year. Miss Marvel getting delayed a lot, especially since we thought Miss Marvel was going to come out like January or February. So here it is right here. And some of these titles, I won't say are misleaded, but they may be also misunderstanding the press release. Miss Marvel and Andor will release in quarter 4 of 2022 on Disney Plus. What they mean by that, like I was saying or iterating earlier, let's get a better shot for you guys, is that they are delayed, or they're not delayed, but Disney does a different quarter system. Their calendar year starts differently than how we would do a quarters within just a normal calendar year. Yeah. So, anyways, Miss Marvel and Andor will release in quarter 4, so the summer fall time of 2022, based off of Disney's calendar. Now, Miss Marvel, my takeaway for this is Miss Marvel seems to be delayed. There seems to be something wrong with it, or it might not be delayed. So, one possibility, reshoots. Second possibility, it needs some retooling. I know a lot of people are complaining on social media. It could very possibly be that Marvel is looking at it and seeing that there's a lot of complaints about her origin seemingly changing. It seems like she's going to have ambiguous powers instead of the inhuman powers. So maybe the Inhumans might be added. I know Feige's not a big fan of the Inhumans. So I don't know what they're going to do there. Third, it was always supposed to come out here, and we're just overreacting. So those are the 3 possibilities I definitely see. I don't know why they announced it at a earnings call. This could have been announced at Disney Plus Day. We'll probably get a date for it. But I think the likelihood, or the most likely thing, is probably reshoots. I really think it could be extensive reshoots too. I think there might be some problems here, which is kind of concerning. It's also kind of concerning since we also just delayed Doctor Strange and subsequently the rest of the schedule to May. So there might be some retooling. Like, they might have too many projects on their plate, and they just need some more time to figure it out. And maybe we're going to have to deal with that during phase 4, and this could be the start. But I'm not sure on that end. But again, Miss Marvel, I am not excited for at all. I will still watch it. I'm not a big fan of Captain Marvel, but this show could maybe change my opinion on even Carol's character. So we'll just have to wait and see. But it's very concerning for right now. We're just gonna have to wait and see on that. And then the Andor side of things, this makes sense. Kenobi and Andor finished shooting it around the same time. However, Kenobi is only 6 episodes and it's shot in the volume, so it's a lot quicker for them to edit. They know what they're doing with that. Deborah's worked with John and Dave on those type of things. So no surprises there. And I think Andor is a bigger show than Kenobi. It's 12 episodes. So obviously Kenobi will come out in that May, June time, I believe. And then Andor will probably be the next show. Bang, 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 right after that. And then I don't know how the Bad Batch fits into it all. I hope Friday we get that schedule and figure out how it all fits into each other. Yeah, it's no surprises. The Miss Marvel thing worries me, and it makes me think: is She-Hulk delayed? Is Moon Knight delayed? With the Doctor Strange delay? Did they want to delay the rest of the Disney Plus shows also to give some leeway and give some time for the story, the post-credit scenes, the segues, the lead-ins to make sense? I think that's a very real possibility. So those are my thoughts on Miss Marvel. And then for Andor, there's no surprises here. It filmed mostly on practical sets or on real life location, so it takes longer. It's almost like a movie they're editing. Uh, it's not the volume like used in the Mandalorian, Book of Boba Fett, and uh, for Kenobi. But that is going to do it for that topic. The question is for you guys: what do you think about Andor and Miss Marvel being placed in the summer fall time? Do you have any concerns about Miss Marvel seemingly being delayed? And what do you think about Andor coming out after Kenobi? Let me know your thoughts down below. So, guys, that's going to wrap up the show today. I had a great time talking about preview and Disney Plus Day, talking a little bit about the Spider-Man No Way Home poster, talking also a little bit about Patty Jenkins' Rogue Squadron seemingly being delayed and what movie could possibly replace it in 2023. And then finally, we touched a little bit on Andor and Miss Marvel being in the spring, or did I already mention that? The fall, summertime of 2020 too. So that's going to do it for this show. Um, I don't know where Alex was today, but hopefully he'll be on for Friday night. We'll have to wait and see. But again, I'll be live streaming at 9 a.m. Eastern to the end of Marvel Studios' presentation, probably around 12:30 Eastern time. And then I'll be back on probably around 8 to recap all the news we got for the day. It's going to be a big day. Really excited. I hope you all have a great day. May the force be with you, and peace.